Hey everybody, and welcome to the Volunteer Nanaimo Follow Along Fitness Workshop. I am super excited to get rolling with you, which we will in just a second. This workshop is going to be all about our hip flexors and how we get them stronger and how we get them longer after we've been sitting all day. But before we do, I want to do a quick verbal waiver. So by agreeing to participate in these exercises, you are accepting all responsibilities from this point forward. So please do your best to self-monitor if you are doing any of these exercises, and I really hope you guys enjoy. We'll see you at the end. Welcome to the first exercise, hip circles. So if you've had hip replacement surgery, perhaps not the best exercise for you, but feel free to open up those hips and have a good time with this one. We're dancing, we're hula hooping, and we're going to go 30 seconds in each direction. Okay, our next exercise is moon squats. So we're going to open up all of the important parts of our body here. We're going to lean back slightly, make sure to keep a little bit of core engagement as you do so, only leaning back as much as you're comfortable. We're going to cross our arms and we're going to come down in through our legs. We're going to do 5 reps and we're going to do that 3 times. And if you want to go a little bit slower, you're more than welcome to. A lot of the exercises I'm going fairly quick in the video, so you can definitely slow down if you want to. And next up we have our single leg balance reach. So awesome for testing our balance and also getting good quad and glute engagement. So what we're going to do is bend that leg that's staying stable on the ground just a little bit, and then we're going to touch to the front, the side, and then the back. Then we'll reset. We're just going to do 5 reps in each direction. This is a super simple one. And the lower you squat down, the more you bend that knee, the more difficult this is going to be. And next up we have our hip flexor PNF stretch, which is just a fancy way of saying we're going to squeeze the muscle as we stretch it. So if you have a ledge or you have a wall, you can push up against it to help yourself to stay upright, but we want to squeeze our core super tight and squeeze our glutes with our back leg behind us. We want to be on our back toe there, and you should feel a stretch before you even push your hips forward. And we're not going to lean back too far into this one. We really want to keep a tight core. We're going to squeeze for 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to come out of it. 1, 2, 3, out. 1, 2, 3, out. And we want to squeeze as hard as we can to try to get as much length in our hip flexor as possible. And on our last rep here, we are going to hold and squeeze as tight as we can for 10 whole seconds, and then we're going to come out of it with control. Next up, we've got leg swings. So we're gonna do side to side. You can also do front to back, an awesome way to get warmed up for our leg days generally, but it's also a great way to open up through our hips. And since we're doing so much front to back hip stuff, we're gonna get the side to side, rocking and rolling here. So you can grab yourself a stick or you can put your hand on a wall just to keep your balance as you go through here. And as you can see, even I'm having a good time with it. Heading into our next exercise, this is probably the easiest one to do wrong, so I want you to take some time here. What we're doing is we're bending forward, but we're keeping a flat/neutral back here. So we're stepping into a nice wide sumo stance, and then if you want the challenge, you can put your hands behind your head like you see in the video. But what we really want to be focusing on is keeping that nice neutral spine. We do not want to be bending from our lower back here. Technically speaking, it's just body weight, so you would in theory be okay if you were to bend from the back, but we are stretching our hamstrings in this case and also learning how to open up through our hips. This can be a precursor to learning how to do the splits. So have a good time with it, and we are going to hold for 10 seconds on our last rep. So this is an extra tough one, keeping that flat back, squeezing to the top. Great finish. And up next we have our overhead marching. So this is a great exercise. If you got some cans of soup at home or you got some weights you want to use, you're more than welcome to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to engage our core, we're going to engage our glutes, and we're going to try to lean left to right as little as possible. So I'm trying to step exactly where I started and trying to shift in my body as little as I possibly can. And I'm keeping my rib cage locked down and trying to avoid arching my back here. And next up we have Pansy Squats, an exercise many of us probably haven't seen before, but all we're doing here is we're squatting down just a little bit, keeping tension in our core, keeping tension in our glutes, and then we're going to push them forward. We're going to come up on our toes just a little bit, and then we're going to keep that tension as we push back into a squat. So this one may look a little bit silly, but awesome for our hip flexors, great for our balance, and really good for training our squats as well. And I am just putting my hands out in front of myself just so that I can demonstrate that I am not moving up and down very much. I'm moving back and forth, and that's the goal here. So make sure to start nice and high if you're a beginner. Don't try to squat down too low. Even pushing forward at a high level is still going to work plenty. And in this clip, I'm going to show you that you can actually add weight to your Sumo Good Morning if you need some assistance to get a little bit lower. You just secure it right on your back and you can hold it with your hands. Now again, I only want you to do this if you are not really feeling like you can get much of a stretch at all here. You are welcome to add a little bit, but again, make sure to maintain that natural curve in your spine or a nice flat back as you do perform this. And for our next exercise, we're going to head to the ground, so you can go ahead and grab yourself a couch cushion. In this case, I'm using a sandbag. And we're going to be doing some bird dogs. This is an awesome core exercise for us. So all I'm going to be doing is getting nice and tight, squeeze my core, lifting my hand, lifting my leg, and then I'm going to extend them back. I'm going to keep my leg nice and close to the ground as I do this, and make sure I'm trying to shift as little as I possibly can here. And what I'm going to demonstrate here is that you can actually go back, and if you want, you can squeeze up using your glutes if you want a little bit of an extra challenge as well. But for most of us, just doing this simple exercise is going to be just enough. And if you are an absolute beginner, what you can do in this case is you can just do your hand or you can just do your leg, and then you can start to work up to doing the contralaterals, so the opposite arm and leg together. And we are going to stay on the ground and head over to our back, because our next exercise is called dead bugs, which is another fantastic core exercise, which is kind of like an upside down bird dog. Dead bugs, bird dogs, both fantastic core exercises. And I'm demonstrating what you could do as a beginner to start. Again, you can start with just the hands or just the legs, but if you can, we're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg. And what I'm trying to do is trying to keep my lower back flat on the ground. That is the most important part of this exercise, is that I do not want my lower back to arch. And if you're noticing that it's arching, I don't want you to put your leg as low. You can keep your legs a little bit higher when you extend them. And if you're not able to do this at all, then start with your hands and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze super tight, bringing those knees up to your chest. And then eventually you'll be able to work your way up to a full dead bug like you see in the video here. We are done on the dead bugs, and we're going to stay in this exact same position. We're going to bring our feet up nice and close to our butt, and if you need a break, now's your chance. It's hot in there. But we're going to do a single leg glute bridge next. So in this video, I actually realized that I could bring my foot a little bit closer to my butt. I kind of want to have my shin relatively vertical, but all I'm doing is I'm squeezing my glutes up to the top, and it may look like my opposite leg is going up and down and I'm squeezing it up and down. But all I'm doing is I'm keeping my core nice and strong, and so that leg naturally comes up because my entire torso is in line. So I'm using my glute squeeze and then slowly coming down. So this is an absolutely amazing exercise for our glutes, and we also get a little bit of core engagement as well here.
Sometimes there's no one else who loves me like you used to.
You absolutely destroyed that workout. Great job. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this workshop, and I can't wait to see you on the next one, which is going to be an easy to digest nutrition seminar. So thank you so much for watching this Volunteer Nanaimo follow along fitness instruction video, and I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time.